What is good, Council of Comics? It is Sunday, May 19th, 5 p.m. It's time for film and box office news, and we're reviewing Pitch Black this week. So it's pretty good. Back in 30 seconds.
What is good, Council of Comics? Welcome to the Film and Box Office News Live Podcast, episode number 87. Like Phil said, we're going over Pitch Black. We're going over a couple other things. So let's get into it.
Antiquities dealer, entrepreneur.
Richard B. Riddick, escaped convict, murderer.
Black is like the brightest day. Where are the heroes? Soon as they get here, everything will be alright. I need a hero. Someone superhuman who can come and save my life.
What is good, Council of Comics? Welcome to the Film and Box Office News Live Podcast. Sunday, May 15th. Oh, May 19th. Sorry. I'm a little bit recovering a little bit from under the weather, but I'm glad to be back since I wasn't here last week. I hope you had a great Mother's Day last week. They held it down tremendously here on the council. And as always, Phil, green shirt guy, how are you today?
What's up?
Steve Bizzle and Cliff. Cliff will be coming in. He's running a little late. I'm not sure on Steve Bizzle, but it is Steve Bizzle's movie trilogy. We're doing Pitch Black today. Vin Diesel. That'll be a little bit later on. But if you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. Get us on our march to 1,000. Let's get into little introductions, like we always do. Young at Heart Foundation, Faith, Trust, and Belief is an organization run by our good friend Mike out in California. They do great things for kids waiting medical procedures. 2 ways you can help out this organization. You can go to the website and hit this register to become a donor, because more than 100,000 people are waiting for a life-saving transplant. You can help by registering as an organ donor today with Donate at Life America. Second way you can help is to sponsor a Hope Kit. It's 100% tax deductible. They take all the funds together and they create these nice little gift boxes for these kids awaiting the procedures. So it's fun for them. If you have other ways that you want to help or you want to talk to Mike, give him a call at 323-396-9998 or email him at info@youngatheartfoundation.com. Alternative. Oh, that's the private chat. Oh, who's there? Cliff is showing up. Adding Cliff avatar to show. Alternative. This is our home away from home. It's located out in Hyde Park, New York, 870 Violet Avenue, Hyde Park, New York. It's run by our good friend Anthony. They have comics, cards, and toys. They have the Hudson Valley's biggest selection of comics. Every comic is bagged and board. Anthony even has a special no matter where you're at in the country. Give him a call and he'll take 10% off of your pull list, and he'll ship that out to you as well. So give Anthony a call at 845-233-4234 or email him at alternaverse2@aol.com, and the website is alternaverse.net. They also have card tournaments on the weekend, Wakana, Pokemon, Magic. Just give Anthony a call. He'll give you a schedule for all that as well. The Council of Comics is at 844 on this march to 1,000. Please hit like and subscribe on those buttons. Got a couple new skits and picks up there. We also got a new Comic Book Day Live, episode number 98. We also got a new conversation up there. Tons of stuff on there. So go through all the playlists and all the channel and enjoy. And make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Cliff on Comics is at 695. Cliff, would you like to say anything about your channel?
I can't believe I'm almost at 700. And of course, look forward to Coffee and Comics with Cliff on Saturday mornings. Next week's guest is going to be DJ Lynx. And, look, me and Freaky Louie have something coming up in the near future around June. Look out for that. And, of course, look for the return of Crisis Quest Trivia.
Excellent. Make sure you are subscribed to Cliff on Comics. And also make sure you subscribe to Couch and the Sloucher with C Bizzle. This is C Bizzle's channel. 2 away from 400. Still floating around there. We want to get him to like 405, 407 to make sure he stays on 400. You check out his 300 subscriber announcement right there and his 200 subscriber giveaway. It has great shorts on there as well. So make sure you subscribe to Couch and the Sloucher with C Bizzle. And we are also a part of this great Sunday legendary lineup. Of course, at 9:45 was Breakfast with Brian. At 10:45 was Comic Book Church. At 4 p.m. was the Sunday Sort. Of course, here we are at 5 p.m.
We canceled today, but he's normally at 4. Yes.
All right, so he's normally at 4. Then here we are at 5 p.m. The Council of Comics going over the film box office news. Then right after us is Comic Book Hangout, the Sunday Sesh. Then you have Kicking It with K-Pop, Black Tiger, 7 p.m. At 8:30, you have Legion of Comics with At Week's End. At 9 p.m., you have the Black Crown Comics Weekly Comic Wrap-Up. And then closing it out at 10:30 is Trev the Shipping Guru and Evil's Comics. They're doing their Sunday night live. So make sure you check out Sunday's legendary lineup. All right.
Truly legendary.
You guys know about the monthly giveaway out there, right? I'm only giving you one chance today to get a duck. And I'm going to let it ride through the whole thing. But here's what it is. I'm going to put a question up. And you're going to put what answer you think it is in the comments. And at the end of the show, whoever got it right will spin it on those people. All right. All right. So here's the question. In what year does Pitch Black take place? 2785, 2987, 2678, or 2036? You put that your answer in the comments, and at the end of the show, whoever got it right will spin, and they will win themselves a duck and be entered into the monthly contest. I'm going to throw that at the bottom right there so you guys can see. All right, so that's the chance to win a duck today. All right, so usually we talk about things that we've seen. Anybody have anything special that they have seen before I get into any subjects?
Was X-Men 97 not
All
amazing?
right, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. Talk about little things. Of course, I have that over here.
Oh, little things. Hold on, let me think.
Baby Reindeer. I watched that one.
Yeah, Baby Reindeer is good. I watched Dead Boy Detectives. I enjoyed that very much.
I binged all of Luther this week.
There you go. I gotta re-binge it. I'm disappointed now that you told me the last season is not so great.
It's just like it. Yeah, I mean, what's wild is it's a British show, so I should have known better. But like, the last 2 seasons are only 4 episodes apiece, and that last season was just like, why are we doing? Like, they're trying to finish it off and close up all the loose ends, but just the way they did it was like kind of unsatisfying.
What's it about?
But then the movie makes a good pick up from where it left off. So,
what's that whole show movie thing about, Luther?
it's kind of almost. Did it come out before? Not The Wire. What's the one with Chickless? The Shield. Did it come out before The Shield?
The first season, I think, yeah.
Because it's basically about this cop. He's a detective in England, in London. And long story short, it opens up with he's been chasing the serial killer. Finally catches up with the guy. There's a little face off. They get into a fight, and the guy's hanging. And he could help him up, and he does, and the guy falls and ends up in a coma. You find out, and now it's like that's hanging over him as he goes forward because he's still investigating things and gets himself into other, questionable situations.
The show is not as old as I thought. It started in 2010.
Okay, I mean it's good. It's Idris Elba.
I was gonna say Idris Elba is like, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then on the heels of that, I was like, well, let me watch. I'm back into my true crime, fake true crime. I started watching Killing Eve, and that's amazing.
That's a good show. I've seen that.
Really, really good.
Cliff, on Dead Boy Detectives?
Yep.
It's connected to the Sandman universe, correct?
Yep.
Do you feel like it's connected to the Sandman universe?
Death is makes a cameo in the first episode, and then later on, Despair makes a cameo.
And they're the same actors from the
Yes,
Sandman.
absolutely.
Excellent.
And as usual, Death is perfect. Now, they show up. It gives you a sense of the same universe. The feels of the shows are exclusively different. And I feel part of that is because this began as an HBO Max series, then became a Netflix series, added our boy Neil Gaiman after it moved to Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the characters who appeared as herself, or one of the characters who appears here throughout the series, played the exact same character when she appeared on Doom Patrol.
So this is in the DC universe.
No, they're just, of course it's a DC-ish property, but because Neil Gaiman's property, it's like we don't have the full access to the DC universe. Like we got Carter Hall and Hippolyta, right? Like we got them in the Sandman, but at no point are they Hawkman and Fury, you know?
True.
About,
Very true.
Constantine.
In Constantine, yes.
Okay. No, I didn't know if we got Constantine. I didn't see the Sandman series. So.
No, he didn't. He wasn't in.
But we did get Constantine's ancestor. She's in.
Yeah, she's in.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I wondered about that because they would like. Yeah, I know. I didn't read all the Sandman series, but I know like Constantine was actually like part of it, and
just all I can tell you, Phil, is it's nearly perfect story for story, with the exception of the superheroics. So like you don't see Batman. The Asylum is not Gotham. You never see Martian Manhunter. We don't see Bizarro General Zod. None of that.
like none of that DC stuff that was in the comics because it was
right. But yet we do get Hector, or we do get we get Carter Hall. We get what's her name? We get Hippolyta. You know, we get the characters by name, but not like.
Okay.
Not the whole package. It's really weird. Like it's like DC's like, okay, you have limited access to these things because we have a weird deal with you. That's what it looks like to me.
Mm-hmm. Neil's got him by the bizzles, is what it is,
and vice versa.
Yeah, maybe they got him more by the,
Well, no, because he's got them more because he can grab Sandman and do what he wants with it.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
But they still have him because he has used their intellectual property characters. So now he's got this weird limited use on those characters. Okay. But everything he created, it's full, it's, game on.
Let's say some shout outs to everybody in the comments. So Screw says 1971 is in the house. Thank you for joining us as always. Phil's Treehouse is in the house. Thank you for joining us. John's Comics with Kids is in the house. Time for that Vin Diesel goodness. Yes, indeed. Kenneth Bird is in the house. Thank you for joining us. Who else is in the house? Big L. Larry Jackson's in the house. Thank you for joining us. And the Canadian Survivalist is in the house. Thank you for joining us. You guys, look at the bottom ticker. It'll tell you your chance to win a duck today. Which year does the movie Pitch Black take place in? There are some choices down there that you can put as a hashtag in the comments. All right.
I know which one it's not.
New logo for Daredevil Born Again. It's coming. It's coming. What do you guys think about this new logo?
Oh, it's fine enough. I mean, it's good enough.
And they also...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, bring it.
I like the way it looks like it's bleeding a little bit, but that's just the city. That's underneath in there. That's very nice. So, Marvel Television. I'm one for saying I think it should have just been kept Marvel Studios.
Or just Marvel.
Yeah, but like the television part is like, I get you're trying to separate it, but you're really not trying to separate it because you want everybody to know this is all one thing. That kind of throws me off a little bit. Marvel television.
Are you buying one of these?
No.
No.
So why do you care?
I care because I have a show called Film and Box Office News, Green
Well,
Shirt
yeah, but what I'm
Guy,
saying is,
which
is
I
why
have
do you
to
care how
announce
they
the
market
news.
this? Because you're not going to buy.
That's why
any
I
of this.
care.
Yeah, but they're not going to. You're not going to buy something or not buy something based on that. So what what difference does it make? They
No,
can
I'm
market
just
it
talking about
whatever
the
they want.
concept of how they're promoting it. I don't give a. I don't give.
I'll
two
be
rat's
honest.
about the hat.
Daredevil
Who
Born
cares about the
Again
hat?
could be like the greatest show ever, and I'm probably not buying that hat.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not talking about buying the hat. Is irrelevant. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the logo.
the
That's,
logo,
that's
yeah,
my
it's
point,
fine.
though. Like, what difference does it make? You're going to watch or not watch the show because it says Marvel Television instead of Studios? What do I care?
Well, that's your stance, Green Shirt Guy, and it kind of annoys me. So
Okay.
I will state
I
that it
just don't-
annoys
I
me
don't see why you would put that much effort in.
because I feel like we all. This is a lot of effort. Am I really putting in a lot of effort?
Energy. Energy is probably the word I was looking
Well,
for.
well, how much is the hat? Like, what are we talking about here?
What? We're not talking about the hat. We're talking
Then what
about
are we
the
talking
logo.
about?
The
What are we
logo.
talking-
They
What?
debuted this at a thing this weekend. There's a big announcement.
What a big announcement!
The logo
Yeah.
got released.
Right? Okay, but I'm
They
saying
had the.
I heard him
all right.
talk about and buying into investing. So I'm thinking money. I thought we transferred into money.
No, well, I mean, initially I said that, but now I'm like, yeah, I can't give this enough time out of and thought energy in my brain to care. Like, what difference does it make? I'm not watching the show because it says Marvel Television.
Well, that's
Or
why
I
we
am
ask
watching
the
it because
questions
it's a-
around
If it,
here,
if it
ladies
said
and
if
gentlemen.
it had the X-Men 97 logo, it would probably say Marvel Animation over that. You know?
Right.
So,
Right. They separated it into three things:
Marvel Studios,
Marvel
Marvel
Television,
Television.
Marvel Animation.
not Marvel Comics. That would be a cool hat.
But this is what I came up with as a topic, and I'm sorry to the rest of the council
I'm
if
not
it's
mad.
so insignificant.
I'm not mad.
Ah,
To me, it's just it is what it
jeez.
is.
All right, I'm getting done with it. I'm
It's
done
not
with
like
it.
if
It's
they had
gone.
and made it
It's
a
no
completely-
more.
It came back.
I brought
And the logo was born again.
The logo
That's
was born
right.
again.
If they had made it like green or something that wasn't his colors, I might be upset.
Oh.
But other than that, whatever.
I
I
think
just thought it was
I
pretty
think it
cool.
was-
I
I
just
think
thought it was cool.
for what
Oh,
it is.
gosh. I just thought it was cool. Gosh. Oh, gosh.
Listen,
Give me
this-
some of your
this is good-
thoughts.
This is good stuff. I'd rather talk about this than who Diddy is beating up in the hallway. So
Oh, we're not talking about that. stuff.
exactly.
That's,
Let's just
that's
let's not do that.
self-evident right there.
Let's not.
That's self-evident. What we can talk about is this lovely show. X-Men
Yeah.
97 finished.
I finished it
Um,
up. I did watch it.
What are you guys' opinions of how the season ended?
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You
I liked
you-
it.
You know how much I love it. You know how much I love it.
Yeah, I
Um,
liked it a lot.
Phil,
I
what was
didn't
your-
really I liked it a lot. I thought it might have went a little overboard. Like if Green Shirt Guy, if you get there, take that bottle of liquor and do a shot every time there's a cameo of a character that's not an X-Men in the last episode.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you mean? Like,
Whenever you see a character that's not an X-Men, take a shot out of that bottle.
Yeah, you know.
And then I'll
And
call you.
Captain America, take a shot. Iron Man, take a shot. Daredevil, take a shot. Cloak, a shot.
well, we know they're doing that on purpose, right? Because
Yeah, but
they're
it's
they're
great.
designed exactly like their 90s animation.
By the way, Bo Jamel confirmed that the other Avengers are in space dealing with Operation Galactic Storm while these events are taking place.
really?
But he did not confirm who the other Avengers are. But since it's the 90s, you can expect 90s style Avengers. That's why it says Scarlet Witch off-world, because she's with that team.
All right. I like the Daredevil cameo.
I love it. And Cloak and Dagger saved his
Daredevil,
ass. That was
Cloak
great.
and Dagger.
And Cloak and Dagger
Uh,
did not appear in the 90s.
I think Quicksilver
Animated.
real quick, right? Quicksilver real quick.
Quicksilver, I think that was Morph in a previous episode or something. He was as Quicksilver.
Yeah, and then when we were inside Magneto's head, we saw Polaris, Quicksilver, and
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Well,
mean.
their their faces were shaded. And they didn't really show them.
Oh, they
were on a-
It was
they were-
Quicksilver. I made it out.
They were on the boat.
That's
together.
another shot.
So the end of the episode, I guess, spoiler alert, they I don't know, they don't defeat Magneto, but I guess they conquer Magneto's fight in his mind, and a little powerful moment of Magneto lives. That was pretty cool. And then they had to stop the asteroid from crashing in to the Earth, while offering Bastion a seat on the team. And I thought it was a bit much.
everyone thinks it's a bit much, but but for me, it's them doubling down on them doubling down on what the dream was supposed to be, right? Because we discover when Storm is getting up in Bastion's face when he has him captured, she's like, your mother never asked Xavier to help you. She slammed the door in his face because she was afraid, you know? So Bastion didn't even realize that he ever had an opportunity, you know? So even though Storm is mad pissed, look what happened to her. And Rogue is beyond mad pissed because look what happened to her. She lost Remy. Despite all of that, they still, now knowing what they know, still reach their hand out like, you can come with us. One last shot, you crazy mofo.
And then he had a very deep line. He said, humanity would rather die than have children like us.
Yeah.
That was deep. That was very, very, very deep. I don't know. He, like you said, he killed Remy, he killed all those mutants, offering him a hand for what? For what?
I don't know, man.
Oh,
You know, it's
like-
you know, obviously, it's you know.
I understand the forgiveness part, but he's pretty far gone.
Oh yeah, he killed thousands. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know?
Like here.
leading into Age of Apocalypse stuff, right?
Yeah, so they got split into. They show you 3 timelines at the end of the episode. They show the future where Cyclops and Jean get transported into. Then they show the past where Beast and a group of other X-Men with Magneto get transported to, and they meet Apocalypse in the past. And I guess they help him because he's being attacked. But then they look off into the distance and they see Ramatut's little citadel, which is basically Kang the Conqueror. So they're bringing in Kang for next season, which leads me to think Kang has an overarching arc over all Marvel properties right now. And regardless of what Jonathan Majors did, and he's not Kang anymore, they're still keeping that Kang flow, which I think is smart. Just bring in another actor and just forget about that.
Yeah,
And,
are
just
you
keep the story going.
100% sure that belongs to Ramatut?
Yes, because that's where Apocalypse in the comics got some of his technology through Celestial and through Ramatut.
Right, but I was gonna say they could avoid him altogether, and it could just be Apocalypse's pyramid, just looking fancy and round.
No, but it wouldn't be his pyramid because that's not his pyramid. He was being attacked by other soldiers.
Yeah, that is true.
He's gonna
And
take over that part.
they did introduce us to Immortus in the original series, so that is the thing.
And the end credits. I didn't even know there was an end credit scene. I was so upset.
That's exactly what I said was gonna happen.
Oh my goodness, I was so upset. And then people were talking about it. I was like, wait a minute, there's no end credit scene. What are you talking about? And then there is. Apocalypse shows up and picks up the card of Gambit, the Queen of Hearts, the card they've been showing this whole time.
Yep.
And he says, my children, so full of pain, so full of death.
Yep.
And,
And as we know in the comics, he did bring Remy back as Death. So we can look forward to
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah, we'll discuss that tomorrow on New Keys because those are all blowing up.
Oh,
I thought
no, I can't. I can only imagine how they're just all blowing up. Oh my goodness. Oh,
shout out to X-Men 97. Let's
Yes.
go through some 10 moments over here. Professor X at number 10 from Screen Rant. Professor X takes the Shi'ar to school. That was a great moment. That was pretty
good.
cool. That was pretty cool.
What
He
did he say?
basically-
Like, because coexisting is hard. It was
Yeah.
a good, like, that's a good Xavier line.
Giving them like the history of conquest and stuff like that. That was pretty good. Number 9, the X-Men take out Master Mold. That was in the first episode.
yep.
That was a nice little start off. I like the action right there of them going after Master Mold. Number 9, number 8, Cyclops versus this was a dope scene where Cyclops was fighting off the Friends of Humanity. That was
It was
pretty good. The
badass.
animation is very, very nice in the show.
I'm
It's
Cyclops.
very, very
I'm
nice
the good
in the show.
guy.
And Cyclops letting loose in the last episode was crazy. Like, if you did you
Okay,
Remember the
Cyclops
scene
has
when
had
he's
the
trying to
opportunity. Yo,
Ooh.
Cyclops, they let Cyclops, first of all, they let Cyclops eat, they let Jean cook, they let Storm eat, cook, eat some more, cook it up. They went crazy. It was great. And everyone else was fun too. You know, the Wolverine Nightcrawler battle, phenomenal. Every
That-
time Rogue lost her shit was my favorite moment. Well, or at least one of my favorite moments.
Storm faces her fear. That was a great moment as well. There were some people complaining that the X-Men 97 was too short. Like they went too quick through some storylines and
It
stuff
did
like
go very
that.
fast.
I wondered that too because all right, I guess X-Men did it too, but this was a lot more like we're gonna pull this idea from this story as opposed to giving you like the story.
And
Right.
but to be honest, they did a great job because the stories that they pulled from are messy AF. You know, I was like the justice that they did here for Scott, for Nathan, for Madeline is look how terrible things are in the comics because that crazy relationship, you know.
It's true.
And we've
True.
never seen the father-son moments in the comics that we've seen here with Cable and Scott and Jean. I'm sorry, family dynamics.
Nightcrawler and Wolverine taking on the Prime Sentinels was
Yes.
phenomenal. They didn't solve, I think, of what happens to the humans, right?
He didn't really say. I don't think like
They
yeah.
didn't really say
No,
because I feel like Wolverine chopped up a few of them.
Yeah, but yeah, that's too bad. But B said that they could reverse the effects.
That's gonna be interesting. Maybe there's a new breed of human with that sentinel part in them. The Phoenix returns. This was quick. I thought that was
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was an easy way to just throw the Phoenix in there. And then
Yeah,
when it
I
was
know,
done, the
but
Phoenix
you
left.
know that's an Easter egg. Jean's like, oh, the Phoenix is gone for now, but we know better. We're like, no, honey, no.
No.
You're intertwined with that shit for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I would like to see like the white hot room creation and all that stuff.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
That would be dope. And the animation for the Phoenix was dope too. They took that fire from modern comics. Rogue versus Bastion. She
Amazing.
beat the mess out of Bastion.
While crying, it was beautiful. Just
When
epic.
she did the remember it line. Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
Exactly. They even gave her a nice booty shot while she was punching the hell out of him. They did everything.
She had the thunderclap like the Hulk,
Yep.
which was I was like, Rogue is strong. Like
She
really
is,
strong.
Dude, reread the issue where she shows up at the mansion for the first time. Binary sees her at the door and it's like, pow! She hits her so hard, Rogue spirals up into the stratosphere, then gets her bearings and comes back to dish out some more. And after they have their fight, Binary is like, I can't believe that you would allow her to be here. And they're like, we're open to all mutants. And she's like, well, clearly I have to go. And Binary took off to space, and that's when she joined the Starjammers. But yeah,
Magneto was right on it.
Magneto amazing. Magneto was right.
Magneto was right. Yeah, but it draws that line though. Okay, I get what you're trying to say, but it's that line, and we can talk about modern politics of there are innocents amongst everything. So I get that you're mad at the human race, but you're killing a lot more than just the bad people of the human race. You're killing the innocent people as well.
Well, that's not the point of Magneto is right. Right?
No, I mean his actions. I'm talking about the scene.
Yeah,
like,
no. Magneto was right versus his actions. Separate things here.
He was right that humanity was not to be trusted, but
Yep.
even when you can't trust humanity, there are still people amongst humanity that deserve better.
Perhaps, I mean, like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes covers that theme too.
Scott and Jean say goodbye to Nathan.
That was great, and he got to address the fact that
touching.
he got to address the fact that he didn't say goodbye to him when he was a baby.
Right, and then he took off his visor and he got to see his eyes.
Yep.
That was pretty cool. And I guess their number one is Gambit's Sacrifice.
Episode
Gambit's the name. Remember it. That was the highest point of the show. That was the best.
I think it was.
That's the best overall.
They didn't say
episode
it,
of the
but
show.
I actually like the part where I got nothing, sugar, and she lets him go. Like that was another high point. They didn't make the list. When Rogue lets that dude go, like.
Yeah, that was just a great scene. We know he's coming back. Overall, X-Men 97 was phenomenal.
That says a lot for Rogue too, because we've got Rogue who's like, I want a better things for the mutants. Then we've got Rogue on a vengeance. We got Rogue being like, nope, I got nothing for you. Drop to your death. Then after all of that, she's like, nope, look, following you got us nowhere, Xavier. You should have treated us like people, not students. I'm going with Magneto. And then after all that, and beating the hell out of Bastion, she's like, okay, I'm giving you a chance, even though I don't want to. I think it says a lot about Rogue, but also made by almost everybody I know who's watched it. They can't believe that the X-Men extended a hand to this dude,
Yeah, I guess they're trying to be the better mutants, but I don't know. If you killed my love, I would have went right in for that last shot to knock you right into that thing. Like, peace, be gone. Clip. I know you would. So don't even act like you would.
I would, but I just have a very different outlook on things in general.
Okay.
But I don't know. Catch me on the right day, and maybe I'm like, you murdered the only man I loved who loved me back. But because you didn't know that your mama was a racist, I'm gonna give you one more chance.
All right, let's head into the box office. We're gonna fly through this box office. If Ryan Reynolds movie is number one with 35 million. That's a very I guess last 2 weeks have been an improvement to the movie industry.
It's almost summer.
Yeah. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes only dropped 55%, making 26 million. The Strangers Chapter 1. I have no idea what this is.
Neither did I.
After their car breaks down in an eerie small town, a young couple is forced to spend the night in a remote cabin. Panic ensues as they are terrorized by three masked strangers who strike with no mercy and seemingly no motive.
Did a show?
Okay.
No, it's a movie.
Yeah,
It's
but
a movie.
they've done where they released the first episode of a show in the theater.
No, because
no, I
I
think
know
it's
this
a
is part of
movie.
the Strangers film series, and I think Chapter 1 is supposed to take us back to the first incident of the Strangers, but I'm not 100% sure.
No, whatever.
Was
In
this
that
something
case,
else?
I'm lost.
Where else was this at? The Strangers. Where else? This is the first time we're seeing Strangers, or
No, this is not the first time we're seeing Strangers. It's got a whole freaking series.
really?
Yeah, it's based on a book. The first movie came out with Liv Tyler in 2007.
Really?
Yep, there's The
Interesting.
Strangers. The Strangers Pray at Night. What else? There's a few of them.
Is it Prey as in Prey?
Probably. Yes, it is Prey.
Phil, Clary has a question for you. What did you think of Planet of the Apes?
Oh yeah, I liked Planet of the Apes. It was
I
good.
loved it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yo, the evolution of Caesar's window has come so far. So far.
Yeah. It was like 200 years, and now, like, you know, like the idea of Caesar is around, but it's been a little bit twisted. It's a little bit not quite what Caesar would have like had as the idea.
No, right, exactly. They've developed the society that we meet is fully down with Caesar the Conqueror. When we meet this generation's orangutan, he's like, actually, Caesar wanted a balance between humans and apes, and that's been forgotten. And he's wearing Caesar's symbol on his neck, which of course is the symbol of his bedroom window from the first movie. And in every movie it appears, and in every movie it keeps evolving. And when they meet May, they call her Nova, right? Because the ape that decided to befriend the little girl in the last movie, I think, yeah, he called her Nova, right? The little girl who couldn't talk because she had already been infected. So they call humans Nova as a result of that, because again, it's 300 years later. And she's like, actually, my name is May. And they're like, she talks.
Well, that's interesting. So humans have survived and been able to turn it around because
there is some of that later in the film, but mostly humans have not been turning it around yet. And the concept of the lost astronauts is still out there, which I loved.
Yeah, they show that in the other movie where it's taken off.
In the very first movie, they're like, "Oh, the spaceship is lost. Are they lost in space?" You know, and then then in the last movie, I think, when they go to the observatory, the information about the astronauts is like in the background of the observatory, and there's shit growing all over it, right? So I thought that was really nifty.
Okay.
But anyhow, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but definitely go check it out.
Yeah, that was a good one. It's a good one.
My uncle was like, Clifford, it was one of the most boring movies I ever saw.
Yeah.
What has it got? It got total 101 so far? Like, what's that done worldwide for Kingdom? Let's see.
Let's see. 237.
You know, that's I thought it was. It doesn't feel like 2 hours and 25 minutes went by until I left the theater today. I was like, wow, it's after 3:00.
Yeah,
So,
I thought it was pretty good.
It's paced very well.
Well, you got 2 more coming, so let's hope this one.
I think they're gonna be really good, because I think the next movie we get, I think we're gonna meet the astronauts.
Okay.
Yeah,
it might be
kind of like a recreation of the original movie, basically.
Yes, absolutely.
Kenny says it was terrible. It was terrible. Boring.
Boring. I'm like, people are terrible.
Kenny.
Yo, they're being hunted most of the movie. I mean, you want to remember what a terrible movie is. Madam Web is on Netflix.
It is.
Oh, man,
I was going to watch it. I just haven't watched it yet.
I gotta watch it.
Get ready for terrible. Get ready for terrible.
I mean, I did watch Morbius when it was on Netflix.
You know what? I can't decide which of those two I dislike more.
I'll
I have
say
to
this
watch
for
Madam
Morbius,
Web
the
first
first
to find
40
out.
minutes is not awful. It's okay.
Morbius
And
is
then it
okay.
takes
I
a
thought
hard
it
right
was
into
okay.
crap.
Yeah. But they did announce that Venom 3 is the last of the Venom movies, and there will be no more Spider-Man spin-off villain movies after Craven.
Because it didn't do well.
Yeah, they're gonna focus more on the Tom Holland Spider-Man and the Beyond the Spider-Verse stuff. So,
You mean
Thank
then
you,
he-
Marvel.
stuff that makes money? Of course.
but then he announced Venom 3. It's like, we're introducing the craziest villain ever, and it's the last movie ever. And I'm like, oh,
What's this
Okay.
crazy villain they're introducing?
that's probably what's his face, the King in Black, most likely.
Without the Necro Sword?
Yeah. What did Kenny
Oh,
say here? Kenny says she couldn't feed herself in the beginning and then turn into the Born Identity female version.
Because she was faking it, Ken. She was faking it. You're 50 years old. You know women are excellent at faking it.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, all right, the rest of this here. The Fall Guy, number 4, The Challengers, number 5, Back to Black, number 6, Tarot at number 7, Godzilla versus Kong, The New Empire, still rocking in there. The Blue Angels came in, Unsung Hero, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. The last one, The Long Game, brought in about 17 grand. You made the top 27. Good job. All right. So that's the box office news, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's get into what we, the homework was. It's C. Bizzle's trilogy. It was Pitch Black, the Riddick trilogy. This movie came out in the year 2000. This one is about a transport ship crashes and leaves its crew stranded on a desert planet inhabited by bloodthirsty creatures that come out during an eclipse. This is starring Vin Diesel, Radha Mitchell, and Cole Hauser.
I think that's
like
a little
this movie.
misleading, that line. They come out at night.
Mm-hmm.
They're just out longer during an eclipse.
Yeah, the eclipse is when all hell breaks loose, basically.
And this eclipse is one that's going to last for a really long time. That's why it's a problem.
Remember the question for the hashtag for the duck, ladies and gentlemen. What year did Pitch Black take place in? You got your choices on the banner below. So let's talk about it. Is this Vin Diesel's first movie?
No.
No, but it's I think
What's
his
his
first one.
It's his breakout movie.
It's his
This is
first one
great.
where he's kind of the lead actor and like
Yes.
the star. Because I think it was in like whatchamacallit, Saving Private Ryan and
Yes.
Yeah, but when
Which I
this
watched
movie
week
came
ago.
out, he wasn't the star.
Right.
I remember that.
And no, this movie's his breakout. Before this movie, if I remember correctly, the 2 independent films that he made are the only movies he had before this.
Yeah.
This is
Like
another but for Cole Hauser. Poor guy.
Yeah. Well, a little bit.
So this movie basically starts off with a ship that's crashing into this planet, and there's a bunch of passengers on it for whatever reason. One of the passengers is Vin Diesel, who has been captured by a mercenary. And then there's like a priest on there with 3 sons, and there's a couple other people as well. But they crash land on this place where these creatures live.
Hold on. Can we back up for a second before
What?
we get? She's gonna dump the passengers to try
Yeah.
and make sure that the ship keeps going. Forget that. Yeah, they do crash land, but that's only because she decides not to just dump her cryo sleeping passengers.
That
in
was a
space.
big part.
Yeah.
That was
And
the
I
part.
thought she actually tried to do it and it just didn't work at that point. Like,
She definitely had her handle on it, and you're right.
No,
You can
yeah,
take that
she
tattoo that
took her
put
hand
through.
off of it. The one thing that didn't work was one of the flaps at the bottom. So she didn't intentionally, like she was gonna do it, but then she kind of like changed her mind about it.
Or she couldn't get it to release.
Because the guy was screaming at her. He was like,
Yeah,
"You do
Owen-
not do
Owens
this."
was the one begging her not to do it,
Yeah.
so I accredited him with convincing her.
Yeah. They crash land, and then they have to find water and things, but they find like this little, what do you call it? Like another place, like a, I don't know,
outpost.
a camp
Yeah.
outpost. Yeah.
Yeah. like a
Um,
outpost.
And they allow Riddick to be a part of their group. but they think he's
Well,
like
yeah, because he
murderer.
already escaped. So what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Well, and the Cole Hauser, who's the guy who captured, him, was like, I don't want to chase you around all the time. Just
Yeah.
here.
Come to find out that guy's on morphine, like he has morphine in the bullets and everything.
He is such a dick because freaking Owens is dying, suffering, and he could have popped him a couple pills, and nope, didn't do nothing. This movie is full of judging books by their covers, full of that. But we'll continue.
Well, can we just pause for a second and reflect on the fact that we're rooting for a multi-murderer in this movie?
Who, Riddick? You talking about?
Yes, 100%. He's a murderer.
Yeah, I know,
And has
but
killed
we don't
many,
know.
many
We
people.
don't know the nature of that.
Yeah, we don't really know
I
why.
mean, he's not a good guy.
But and yet,
it's a tough one.
what does he demonstrate to be
Yeah.
as the movie continues? He shows himself as someone who's
I'm not
capable.
saying people don't change. What I'm saying is he clearly believes he's supposed to be in there at the beginning.
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just
Really?
quietly figuring out what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, I think it's a very fine line of what he, because there are many moments in the movie where he could have killed them and he didn't.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like the time where he was behind the bone thing, and he
cuts
could
her hair off
He could have just
and then
stabbed her.
snips
But
it like a weirdo.
yeah, that was so
was-
strange.
So, like, come on.
That was so strange. But they eventually find that camp. They find a ship. But these creatures are becoming more and more of the problem. And a really cool moment when they figure out the eclipse is going to happen.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, we got to get over to this camp now because the thing that's going to drive them there runs on solar power. And they really don't know how long that the sunlight is going to last.
Right.
That's number one. So they go, they do it. And of course, the eclipse happens and they're stuck. But they figure out a way. The lead lady, who was the one who almost got the other people sucked out of there.
She needs to go.
She eventually goes.
I
But
feel bad for her when she died.
her death was a shock.
Yeah, I didn't feel bad.
You know what I
for
mean?
her.
Like the way it was like, oh wow, she's gone really quick. And when I remember first watching it, was an even bigger shock because we didn't think that Riddick was this good guy that needed to be saved or anything, but he ends up being the one that escapes. When I
Okay.
first watched it,
Since we're talking about shocks, the first time you watched this movie, were you shocked at the reveal at the end?
About Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? You were? I saw that 100.
No. I would know. My was not meant in that way.
Oh,
No,
okay.
of course
Like,
I saw it coming.
It was so obvious.
Yeah.
but this character cut their hair to match Riddick, did they not?
No.
Didn't they have
she
hair
had
in the
hat
beginning?
on at the beginning of the movie? So you wouldn't have known.
But I think she had a little bit of hair because remember they were like, she's starting to mirror you. Because I think she cut her hair off.
Oh,
or
maybe she
something
cut her whatever she had left.
And then she
on.
started wearing the glasses like him too. And
Yeah.
everything.
And
but
then
yeah,
that
that
comes up in the second movie too. But whatever, we'll get to that when we get to
yeah,
it.
we'll get to the second movie. That's a whole nother level.
100%.
So they got to get back to the ship. It's in pitch black, outside, and I don't know. Like some of their lights aren't very lighty, and I'm like, the light must extremely cause pain to these creatures for them to be able to like sneak through like that because there wasn't that much light. Wasn't that much light at all.
For like the future, it was like some very primitive light sources too, like some
Yes.
liquor.
Yeah.
So some
Fluorescence.
yeah, liquor and like some
And I
Well,
didn't
the-
like. No, go
The
ahead.
creatures look pretty good considering that's all.
Considering it's
early CG.
2000, yeah. Considering it's 2000.
Yeah.
What you call it? I thought. Remember when they were put in the cave and they had the little glow creatures?
Yep.
I was like, yeah, I felt like they should have introduced that a little earlier in the movie. Like,
it was very late for that. Like,
yeah,
TV
like, oh, here's convenience. There's some little creatures in the walls that glow, and that would have helped out tremendously in the beginning of the movie. But
But how are they
That-
going to know anyway?
yeah, I guess you're right. What else?
I mean,
What do you
yeah,
got?
I did like the part where like he put the skeleton together to
Yes,
figure out that like the monster has a blind spot.
100%.
Like that was
very
cool.
But was that used?
Yes.
When?
Yeah,
And what
remember
scene?
he's right in front of it doing this.
Yeah,
And
he used
can't
it
see him.
twice. So like yeah, because right in front of him, he couldn't see. Yeah, he figured out
The
where
only
the
reason
blind
he
spot
almost got
was.
caught was the other one came after, like it turned around to go away, and another
Yeah.
one showed up and they could see him. So then it turned back and it could
Yeah, you're totally right about that. What else about this movie? I thought Vin Diesel was pretty good in this movie.
I thought he was pretty good, and it was
was great.
you know, for like a February movie release, this was like because usually like a movie gets released in February, you're looking at a Madam Web, like, and for this to be a February release date, like this is a pretty good one.
And there
Yeah.
was a lot going on. The budget for this movie was originally 25 million. I think the director only spent 23. The studio wanted A-list actors. He said, "Hell no." He goes, if I put what's his name in this movie? Oh my God, Francis Ford Coppola's nephew,
Cage.
Nicolas Cage. He goes, if I put Nicolas Cage in this movie, it's like Nicolas Cage will be standing around all day while his stuntman is doing everything else. He's like, let's find some hungry younger actors, and that's exactly what he did. And thanks to 2 successful runs at the Cannes Film Festival, the attention of Vin Diesel was attracted. Also, someone convinced the director to rewrite the role of the female into a male role. So Riddick's character would have been female. And it's believed, but I'm not 100% sure, his character would have been female because the character was originally meant to be Ripley, and this was originally meant to be an Alien franchise film.
Yeah.
I
interesting.
wondered about that watching it because it did seem a bit like an Aliens movie. Even like some of the situations and setups, like obviously, all right, you got the group, you got the crash landing on the planet, and you know we're slowly gonna pick these people off. Let's face it, like
Yeah. Well, if
Wow.
you think about it, if that's the case, then they would have had to put way more than 25 million to put all the
Well, no, what happened? So at the point where they gave him the 25 million, this was after they had to abandon it being an Alien franchise film.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It would have been a much more expensive movie.
But when they retooled the script, the Riddick character is still female because it was originally, that whole thing was originally thought of for Sigourney Weaver. And the studio's like, no, make that a dude. So he made that, so he changed the script again. So it went through many revisions, but like Phil picked up on, there's Alien franchise influence throughout the film because when they wrote the original script, that's what they were going for.
Absolutely. You can definitely see it. This is Vin Diesel not being Vin Diesel, if you know what I mean.
You know what? I really feel like the Fast and the Furious ruined him. It really.
oh, I
100%.
don't think
He
it
thinks
ruined
he's-
him.
I don't
He's been doing it for 20 years now.
No. No, it ruined him as an acting talent. I don't think it ruined him like career-wise, you know? Like
Right.
obviously people still love those films and things, but like his 2 independent films were excellent. This was excellent. The next 2, I still think of them fondly, but as more time has gone by, I cannot separate Vin Diesel from his Fast and Furious character anymore.
I mean, what was that movie where he tried to be a gangster, where he's the guy it's a RICO case, and he's the one guy that goes the other way. What the heck was it called? You know what I'm talking
Triple
about?
X?
What's that?
Triple X?
No, it's supposed to be a real life. I don't remember if it's based on real events, and there's a RICO case against the mafia, and he's the only one that kind of snitches on everybody and tries and goes by himself and tries to get his case thrown out. You know, speaking for himself. It's awful. It's a bad movie. It's not well acted. but to my point is, back then he was taking chances with different things. Now he does Fast and the Furious, and That's all he does.
Oh wait, was that A Man Apart? Was that it?
Hold on. I'll let me look at his what do you call it? I'll tell you.
It was Triple X. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, he turned down Pitch Black 2 to do Triple X.
Yep. And then when the second Triple X didn't do well, they had to do Triple X: The Return of Xander.
Yes, which was no better.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Vin Diesel's a huge fan of and player of Dungeons and Dragons.
I have heard that.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
He's another one battling a battery and retaliation case from his former assistant during Fast 5.
Oh. I don't know. Wacky little Hollywood. Stories everywhere. All right. Let's give ourselves some numbers on this. We'll start with Green Shirt Guy. Green Shirt Guy, what are you giving this movie?
I like this movie. It's not the greatest. I'll give in mine. Just prepare because the next two I'm going to shred. I give this a 7. It's watchable. It's still fun. It's not as good as I remember.
7. Okay. Cliff.
I had a lovely time watching it. It's actually better than I remember. I really appreciate the effects and practical effects, especially for the year 2000, and I'm giving it an 8.
Okay. Phil.
I'm also actually going to give this movie an 8. Yeah, it has a huge influence from the Aliens movies. But for 2000, the 90s for sci-fi was all about the bigger explosion. And it was nice to go back a little bit, and it's not really quite about the bigger explosion. It's about aliens and space and creatures. And I'd never seen this trilogy, so this was the first time watching it. I probably would have liked it more had I seen it back in 2000, but seeing it now, I definitely enjoyed it. So I would say an 8.
Okay. I'll give this movie a 7.5. One particular thing I loved was his eyes. When they said if you pay the right man the right amount of money, he can give you your eyes a nice shine job. And I'm like, oh, that's gotta hurt.
20 cigarettes, right? 20 cools.
Oh yeah, menthol cools. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, they're menthol
he paid
cools?
for his eyes with a pack of smokes, dude.
So cools made it all the way.
Cool made it all the way.
No man. All right, so that
I
leads
found
to
it.
Great. So between the four of us, this movie gets a 7.6.
The movie that you don't want to see that's a Vin Diesel movie is called Find Me Guilty.
Find Me Guilty.
Awful. In the late 80s, a low-level gangster named Jackie DiNorcio defends himself in court in what became the longest criminal trial in American judicial history. And then, it's based on a true story. He is awful in it. It's a movie that he doesn't have the acting chops to be on screen by himself that long.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to see who won our duck. The question was, in what year did the movie Pitch Black take place? It was either 2785, 2987, 2678, or 2036.
Can I guess?
Sure, you can guess. Go ahead.
2678. It's not 2036.
Green Shirt Guy, you did very, very, very well. And as soon as I'm going to release it, I'm going to hit draw so that nobody else can get in and sneak in there. Even though you're going to sneak in there, it's fine. All right, it's 2678. Let's get the drawing and go. Who will win this duck out of 5 people? Who? Round and round it goes. Las Cruces gets himself a duck.
You went 2 on Monday last week?
Huh?
Who's in the? It wasn't him that won 2 people, right?
No, it was somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Las Cruces 1971. Congratulations, you have another duck, my friend. Thank you for playing along. All right, so that's our show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. A couple things that I want to show you first. Tomorrow night, we are New Keys and Hot Comics of the Week, live at 8 p.m., 5 p.m. Pacific. We go over all the new books that are coming out. We go over all the keys that are coming out. We'll go over some hot books, top 10s, and we'll give you about 3 chances to win ducks for our monthly giveaway. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night at 8 p.m. And then on Wednesday, it's New Comic Book Day Live, episode number 99. One away from the big 100, ladies and gentlemen. And you can also tune in that night and win some ducks for the monthly giveaway. So remember to tune in on Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m., 5 p.m. Pacific time. I also want to encourage you guys to go to the rest of the Sunday night lineup. 6 p.m. Comic Book Hangout, the Sunday Sesh. 7 p.m. kicking it with K-pop. At 8:30, Legion of Comics at week's end. 9 p.m. Black Crown Comics weekly wrap up. And then at 10 o'clock, we got Trev the Shipping Guru and Evil's Comics on Sunday Night Live. That's 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. So that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you tune in next week. And your homework is The Chronicles of Riddick. Not Riddick. The Chronicles of Riddick is part 2. I just watched that last night. I had to watch it right after the other one. Save my things for next week.
Do.
Oh, no. But make sure you watch Chronicles of Riddick. And we'll be back next Sunday at 5 p.m., 2 p.m. Pacific for film and box office news. So, for myself, for Phil, for Green Shirt Guy, for Cliff, and for C. Bizzle, and the rest of the Council of Comics, we love you.
Can't leave without saying goodnight.
Oh, see, this is why we got a council.
There we go.
This is why we have a council. You are right, Phil. We must say.
Can I say on behalf of Joey, this is what you get for having a woman as your interstellar pilot?
Sounds like it, Joey. Las Cruces 1971, thank you for joining us. Phil's Treehouse, thank you for joining us tonight. John's Comics for Kids, thank you for joining us. Kenneth Bird was in the house tonight. Thank you for joining us. Big L. Larry Jackson was in the house. Thank you for joining us. Canadian Survivalist was in the house. Thank you for joining us. Meatwad number 1 was in the house. Thank you for joining us. Dude, Old Wolf 65 was in the house. Thank you for joining us. Bobby De La Ghetto was in the house. Thank you for joining us. Rich Davis dropped in. Thank you for joining us. Ken Roland was in the house. Thank you for joining us. Perry Comics was in the house. Thank you for joining us, Perry. And I believe that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So, for myself, for Phil, for Green Shirt Guy, for Cliff, C. Bizzle, and the rest of the Council of Comics, we love you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Black is like the brightest day. Where are the heroes?